Thanks for joining me again for another Pixie Talks review vlog.
Pixie Talks, reviews and vlogs at Pixie Talks. Pixie Talks, reviews and vlogs at Pixie Talks.
Woo! When there's something strange in your neighborhood, who are you gonna call? Yes, it's one of the most controversial reboots I think I have ever seen. Let's talk about the new gender-bent reboot to an 80s classic, Ghostbusters. Alright, so this is a somewhat complex discussion, so I will try to keep it truncated. I think we're all fairly familiar with the classic films from the 80s about a group of science nerds who form a team of ghost-fighting badassery. They are comedy horror, and they are generally thought of as beloved classics. Now, I really didn't grow up on them that much. I saw these movies as a kid, and quite honestly, they scared the crap out of me. So I never really loved them as a kid. Now, since I was never a huge fan, I wasn't really, super excited when it was announced that they were doing a reboot. That is, until they announced that it was going to be a gender-bent reboot. That got me very, very excited. And it also got a lot of people very, very angry. And I'll talk about that controversy in a little bit, but first let's talk about the movie itself. Right off the bat, this movie is absolutely hilarious. I haven't laughed this hard in a long time. I'm pretty picky about comedy because I'm not a huge fan of raunch comedy or crude humor. This, however, was pure joy. The ladies in this are all from SNL, and they are all absolutely hilarious. It was all really geeky, really clever, and had perfectly slick comedic timing. Now, I've watched the original two movies fairly recently in preparation for this coming out, and I can say with absolute certainty that I did not laugh nearly as much watching those as when I watched this one. The effects are all gorgeous. They managed to keep the cheesy comedy look of the originals very well, and I absolutely love the designs of all of the ghosts. The originals always kind of struck that balance between creepy and silly very well, which is why they were so funny to adults but terrifying to children, and I think that the reboot has captured that magic balance perfectly. To be perfectly honest, I can't really find a bad thing to say about this movie. It was funny, it was engaging, the story was riveting, and the women were awesome. So now, what I want to talk about is representation. There's been a lot of backlash about this movie, particularly about the decision to cast the main heroes as women rather than as men as in the original. Not only that, but to also gender bend the group's less than brilliant secretary, now portrayed hilariously by Chris Hemsworth. There's been a lot of talk about this change being gimmicky and unnecessary and just political correctness run amok. But see, here's the thing. Let me tell you something. As a woman, I do not get to see badass women in films very often, and when I do, they're generally sexualized as heck. Sure, movies tell me girls can save the world, but they damn well better look good while doing it. They better be wearing skin-tight leather and posing sexually so that the viewers can get a good eyeful of them. The message that movies typically tend to send to girls is that no matter what else we may be doing, what's most important about us is how hot we are. And I just watched 4 women, 2 of them heavyset and 2 of them too weird to be Hollywood attractive, wearing baggy coveralls and combat boots, kicking ghost ass. And you know what? It was amazing. They were all hilarious, they were all well written, and they were all badass. They each had emotional arcs that made them feel natural and human, and not one of them was sexualized. This is what I want to see in my movies. I want to see women that don't also have to look hot. This movie is so special to me because it is so rare that I ever get to see women in action movies portrayed as anything other than sexual props. This is an incredible movie. I highly recommend everyone go watch it multiple times if you can because it is amazing and a huge breath of fresh air. And that's it for my review of Ghostbusters. Please do be sure to subscribe for more. You can also add me on Facebook and Twitter. And with that, I will see you next time. Bye!
Ghostbusters! There's something strange